the Jonathan Brandmeier Showcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Buffett!
Buffett the turtle, looking rather fertile, floating across the Florida Keys. Buffett the turtle. Buffett the turtle.
All I can say after spending an hour with Johnny B in the morning is sick minds think alike, you know? Here I was this morning sitting in this horrible, ugly yellow suit, playing my guitar over the radio at 9 in the morning.
I could be anyone I wanted to be, maybe Sway, Errol Flynn, or even Johnny B. If I only had a pencil-thin mustache. That'll get play, won't it?
Yeah.
I could do some cruising, too. Oh, yeah.
This is the new Not Normal.
Down at the la 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 la. Down at the la di da. How did I get this lucky? Tell me who gets to live like this.
All right, Jimmy Buffett's got a new record out. How's it going, everybody? Jonathan Brandmeier with you. Jimmy Buffett.
On a patch of sand.
Da, 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 da. Life on the Flip Side. Jimmy's new album, Life on the Flip Side. Now, we are waiting to speak with Jimmy Buffett. First, we have to zoom into each other and figure it out. New album, critics are loving it. I'm loving it. You're going to love it, Parrot Heads. There's no doubt about that. But first, you're saying, hey, wait a minute. Why didn't you get him on? That seems to be our problem right now.
Down at the la di da. There's a perfect margarita.
Yeah. I don't see him anywhere. I don't see no stinking Zoom anywhere.
Well, it's just 1 minute.
Yeah, it's just 1 minute. I'm not worried about him being late. I'm worried about me hitting the wrong buttons. It says invite others. Buzz, anyone you want to invite?
Not at the moment.
Okay, let me see. I hit this little guy. He's a mannequin. I push the button, invite others. Buzz, I tell you what, Jimmy was pretending he was Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Mack was pretending he was Jimmy Buffett.
That's right, Johnny B.
Yeah. First of all, he doesn't sound like that.
Is that funny?
Yeah, you don't sound anything. He doesn't sound anything like that. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Now, let me just ask Gino this. Gino, you're on with me and Buzz, and we're just talking here. We have no Jimmy Buffett yet.
Jimmy just called me. He's having trouble on his end with the thing spinning. Do you want to just go to phone? I can give you his number right now.
That's Gino in Milwaukee, Buzz. You ever meet Gino? I think you did. No?
Not our Gino.
I got too many Ginos. No, Gino Salamone.
Right.
Gino Salamone. You got Gino Giovannuti. I like the Italians around me, wherever I can get them.
You feel safe.
Yeah, I do.
And well fed.
Yeah. Is it me spinning or him spinning? Is it my side?
He's spinning. Maybe he's got bad internet or something.
Okay, hold on a second. Hey, just a second.
Hello?
Jimmy, this is Johnny B. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. I'm trying to get into the computer world here.
Yeah,
so.
but this is Jimmy. This is the weirdest thing. No, you just said the weirdest thing because we're sitting here and I go, I hate this technology. I hate this Zoom and I hate this. And I'm going, I hope I made the right decision. I hope I hit the right button. And they tell me you're spinning on your side. You want to try again or you want to talk right now on the phone? What do you want to do?
I like to see your smiling face, so let's just try. I'll reboot here, but I'll just stay on with you here if that's okay.
Yeah, reboot. Let's see what happens. Where are you?
Yeah, reboot. Okay.
Yeah, let's reboot. Oh, my God.
Don't tell anybody I can do this. It's bad for my reputation.
No, I'm telling.
I don't have a tech. All right, no, you're not going to tell. Come on.
No, I will never do that. But
this is coded.
You know what the weirdest thing is? The weirdest thing is that, we're forced into it because we're at home when we're doing these things. So now I'm sitting here and I'm operating everything and trying to get it done. And I'm like, oh, my God. And Buzz is at his house. Buzz, say hi to Jimmy Buffett, wherever you are, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, what's up, Buzz?
Not much. Not much.
We got to get you on the Zoom so we can hear you, man. At least hear you clear. Even if it's just audio, we could hear you better then.
When system dialog prompts open Zoom US, open up. So I'm here ready to go. But
this is hilarious, though. Honestly, though, this is the world we're talking about now. We're in it. We can't get out of it. We're in it.
No, we're in, baby. You're in.
We are in, man.
open it up and let him in, John.
Yeah, I did, but he didn't pop up.
Yo, let me in. Let me in.
Let him in. Hey, Mac, did you have any idea how to let him into this meeting?
Did you open up participants and look in there and see if Jimmy is there trying to get it?
I see one person. It's me. I'm the only one at this party right now.
Maybe if Jimmy starts a meeting.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, that might be a good idea. Jimmy Mac said, why don't you start a meeting and I'll join you?
I'll do that right now. Okay. Hang on.
Even in the morning, the songs are all in my head.
Oh, I'm glad they're in your head.
Oh, man, it's awesome. Just awesome.
I got you. You're up. I'm waiting. I'm admitting you to the end of the room. I'm joining, and you should come up.
There you are.
I got you.
There you are. Hold on a minute.
I just turned the phone off. I got you.
Oh, yeah. What did he just say? He's got us. Hello, Jimmy. How you doing, man? Oh, my God.
That was a little hard.
That was the craziest thing. I really swear to God. That took us 25 minutes to hook up on Zoom. And it's the funniest thing.
It's been a great interview, Jonathan. Thanks so much.
And good night. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. I got to tell you, man. Oh, my God.
We did it. I like your backdrop. Is that the lake?
That's a lake. Well, I didn't finish my thing. I just kind of set this up. You can see the screen there moving around, but that's the lake.
Is that Fond du Lac?
No, that's the North Woods of Fond du Lac. That's the North Woods. But you're the saltwater guy, and I'm the freshwater guy. There's no doubt about that.
We did this, and we got it. Hot dog.
I swear it's hard to believe. But let me introduce your record because, man, I got to tell you something. That is, I don't know what you've done here, brother, but you've done it. Jimmy Buffett's new album, Life on the Flip Side. Fans loving it. Critics loving it. What did critics say? Yeah. Life on the Flip Side, a better quarantine fix than a cheeseburger in paradise. Jimmy Buffett brings sunshine into our darkness. Life on the Flip Side is just the aspirational, de-stressing soundtrack we all need. Here's the weird thing. It's a hit like on all the charts. Billboard, look out, Lady Gaga, country, rock, pop, and number one on the Calliope charts.
Yeah. We got mail from Mars too.
It is unbelievable. It's the mayor of Margaritaville, the one and only Jimmy Buffett. God, I got to tell you, what we just did was amazing. And also, the weirdest thing, Jimmy, was I started the day off right here, 5 minutes before this. I'm not going to be able to hook this guy up to Zoom. I'm going to screw it up somehow. And guess what? A frog jumped below my feet here. Like, because of the rain, there's a frog jumping around my feet, so I'm chasing a frog, talking to you. What a freaking crazy-ass day. What a day. All right. But we're done. It's good. It's good. So anyway, you're in dry dock, but where are you now in dry dock? Where are you?
I'm in dry dock on Long Island in Sag Harbor at my summer house.
Okay, so now, being in dry dock for you spending more time with your family, more time with the kids, and that's like one of the songs like Cussin Island. What in the hell is Cussin Island? I don't get it.
Based on a very true story, that song. First of all, I love the term that I'm in dry dock. Normally you say we're on the beach, but being a child of the shipyard, I love that. So I'm going to start using that if you're all right with it.
You go ahead.
In dry dock.
Yeah, it's because, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. So you'll be in dry dock for a while.
What I'm trying to do is kind of related to when I used to do long sailing trips, and when you'd, 1,000 miles out to sea, when we used to go from like Newport down to the British Virgins, and they would start out, you'd leave and you'd have a little bon voyage party, and you were usually hung over for a day or two on the trip. And of course, that's when a huge storm came or something major broke on the boat, and you're going, what am I doing out here? And then you go, shut up and just get in the groove. And so I and then next thing you know, you're 1,000 miles down line and you make it, and it's good, and you figure out how to do it. So I applied that to this, and it seems to be working okay. I'm busy enough and staying in touch with people as well as we can using this wonderful technology.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. There's no question about that. But you spend more time with the kids. You spend more time with and working on this album. And I believe, man, it's smooth. It paid off.
The album was finished kind of in record time, and we had such a fun time that we finished all the basic tracks in January, and we had it ready to go and release. And then, so it was life on the flip side had a whole nother meaning before the pandemic came along.
Right.
So, but we were ready with it and had so much fun doing the album. And it's been so long since we did one, just getting the band back into our little studio in Key West, doing it where everything started. So that kind of blended into everything. So we had a really good time doing the record. And,
you can tell, man.
So,
you can tell. It's just.
I think it shows. And then, hell, I didn't know whether we'd make another album because, as we all know, things have changed into, playlists and music lists. But we wanted to do one because I just want to, all this time to our very loyal and dedicated fans, all we ever tried to do was give them things that they could add to their collection.
Yeah.
So that was what the initial plan was. And fortunately, we don't have to go play the game anymore. We're kind of set in what we do. And that's a good place to be. And they're such loyal fans. And, it was with them in mind. And all of a sudden, loyal fans got locked in and a whole lot of other people, too. So it seemed to have worked, and I'm glad it works for everybody to give them a little break from what's going on.
I love it when nice guys finish like that, and I was so thrilled to see this. I'm looking at stuff, and it's Jimmy Buffett this and Jimmy Buffett that, the new album and this and that. It's just, I just love it. And, let's go back to what you're talking about, the record, Jimmy. It's so, it just makes sense. You could just kind of put it on and then just float with it, not to use a boating reference, but it takes you right along from the very beginning. And I know you had like a book that comes with it, a booklet or whatever it is. But, whatever happened to those days when we used to open up a record? Hey, we got the new album.
Yeah.
And you put the album on and you go, oh, and you lay there and you listen to it and read the album liner notes. But you have that in this. But this album is so cohesive. It's like nice and smooth.
Thank you. Well, it's amazing, Johnny, because that's what a lot of people, actually young fans and older fans, it's kind of funny. There was one review that I read, said, in this new Jimmy Buffett release has something that a lot of you may not know. You can actually put it on and listen to the whole thing because it's meant to be heard one song after another. Yeah. Sequencing is the thing that's probably dying out, but we wanted to take a turn back and not technologically, because we had a lot of stuff we could do, and just because of where we were going in Key West and a lot of the stuff that we put together. But I wanted to go back and make a booklet. I wanted to do a fold out cover. A vinyl's coming out in a month. And
wow!
So
look, that's what I'm talking about.
And did it like an old album. And I thought, well, I don't know if we'll do another one, but this was going to be one that they will want to add to their collection. But it's gone further than that, and I'm happy about that. But again, we've always kind of been the escapist song, and boy, does escapism really have a place in many people's lives now.
And I'm sure you've heard this, Jimmy. I know you have. This is the time when we need a Jimmy Buffett. This is the time. It's unusual that you can't go out for the summer, but the fact that you have this record, and I think that is, by the way, is this one of the first summers you've ever taken off, or is this you've done it before? I can't remember you ever being off. No, is it a long time?
Yeah, well, we've known each other a long time, and every place we go, we love going there because it's what we do. So, for 42 years, I've been telling people I might take a summer off. This is not what I had in mind.
Yeah.
But again, you got to make lemonade out of lemons, and so you take what you're given, and then the unique thing about, like, we do our virtual cabin fever meet and greets for first responders and healthcare workers. We've been doing that every Friday night.
Yeah.
We got our shows up. Fortunately, we had Radio Margaritaville and Margaritaville TV along for a long time because it was a way to stay in touch with our fan base all these years. And it really worked out now because when we redo the shows on Wednesdays and Saturday nights, we're averaging 40,000 people watching them.
That's amazing. And you said you did some stuff for first responders, and I'm sure they had to be blown away by that. That's great. And could you stream like a show? Could you, with the band? Because I've seen the band, I saw the Stones doing that at One World or whatever it was. How do you do that?
The video for Lottie Die is going to debut next weekend on CMT. We just finished doing it, but it was one of the ones that you had, to our crew, our video crew. We were ready to go out. We actually had plans to go to, I was just going to go to Nashville because the rhythm section's there. We could do it in a safe studio where we were all set to go, and we were going to do a Slack Tide tour and put it up there. But then Spike happened in Nashville, so we couldn't go. But that's in the works. So as soon as things calm down up there and it's safe to go, yeah, we certainly have plans to get the band back together and do the tour is called Slack Tide.
Slack Tide,
and we're going to do the first Slack Tide virtual show, and then other plans to do some. I'm sitting up here, and there's a nice little studio I got here. So, a lot of people like. One thing we did is when we were kind of being in touch with everybody, we kind of asked people's questions on what they'd like to hear. And somebody said, all the songs he's never played in shows. So we said, okay, what do you mean? And so in an hour, we had 10,000 requests for songs that I hadn't done in 20 years.
It's like Stumpo El Bando. Remember Stumpo El Bando? They would call, they'd say, hey, Jimmy, can you do this? And you don't remember half your songs.
Buck the Turtle.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me just check the album list here. Let's see. Let me go through the montage and see if my song's on there. Let's see if... No. Jimmy Buffett's new album, Life on the Flip Side. No. No. Let's see. Hold on a minute. No. Yeah.
It's to live like this.
No. Still not on. Yeah. Cussin Island.
I promise you I'll do it for you. This is the songs I should know by heart show, and I'll add a Buck Turtle. I will add to it.
Oh my God!
We did it on your show. I made it up on your show.
Yeah, it was because we were the weirdest thing about Jimmy. But we were reading Buzz. You remember we were reading the story about this dude who was getting dry. Speaking of dry humped by a turtle. Yes. Right? And Jimmy just walked in as he did, always being the nicest dude in the world. Walks in, he has a bike outside, walks in. What are you talking? Hey, Jimmy, we're just talking about this song about this guy that got humped by a turtle in Isla in Florida.
Well, it was a lazy day in the Florida Keys. Not much wind.
And he just grabbed the guitar and he started singing it.
Water when our boy.
And he'd heard us.
All right.
He'd had it with the builders. He'd had it with the cars. He'd had it with the famous. He'd had it with the stars. Scuba diver.
Here's the chorus now. Here we go.
Out below.
Here we go. I'll go with you. Let's do it.
Here comes
Buck the turtle.
Looking rather fertile. Just a night on the town.
Hey, that's me on the bongos, Jimmy.
Oh, Buck the turtle. Looking rather fertile, floating across the Florida Keys.
Yeah! That is so
Bring back
funny.
Buck. I want a T-shirt. Bring back Buck.
Buck the turtle. Oh my God! I'd never forget that.
That's how good you are because you just. Did you plan to have that?
No, I just have your name in here, and it's like, oh, Jimmy Buffett and the stuff. This is the thing I was telling you. See, look at this. I'm looking at the screen, but I'm not looking at you. The technology is what I'm learning, having to do it by myself.
Yeah.
So the
You're
camera.
You're doing a good job, Johnny.
Okay, well, thank you. You're doing a good job too, Jimmy. It took us an hour to hook up with that step. But wait a minute. Go back to something you said about songs. I wanted to ask you a couple questions. What is, like, you believe... You just said you got 1,000 some requests of people that do songs you've never done before. What is your biggest crowd hit? If you had to say, okay, gentlemen, we're not getting this crowd, which never happens, but we got to do this song. What is the biggest crowd hit, would you say?
Out of those, I mean, an interesting thing too is like given that challenge of going back and doing it. I have to be honest that there are songs that I forgot how to play. So it was good for me. And my daughter now is an aspiring filmmaker and has done some things. So she happened to be quarantined in the house with us. So I had a videographer. So, and she started asking me questions that she got on the internet, and I go, and giving me facts about places I'd played. And I go, wait a minute. And she'd go, you're wrong about that. And I'd go, that's because the internet wasn't invented.
Yeah, that's right.
There was another 10 years of me playing before you got your statistics, honey.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
So we did them. And so I'm trying, it's great because they remind me of songs. And I guess, one of my favorite songs I've written that I don't play very much is Love in the Library.
Okay.
And somebody put that in there and I had to go back and learn it. And it was it really kind of, it got great to go back and play it. And the other was one called The Night I Painted the Sky, about when I invested in, with a dear friend of mine who passed away a while back, in a fireworks company. And we had to go, the computer blew up and we had to go kind of light them off that night. So
what do you mean light them off? What do you mean by what do you mean?
And we got them now, so I'm going to start doing them.
What do you mean light them off that night? What do you mean? You said
not light one up, light them off.
Oh, light them off. Okay,
there's a difference.
Yeah, but there's so many songs.
Well, the computer went down, so we just had to go with like a flame, one of those little light, a big lighter, a barbecue lighter. We had to light the fuses on the fireworks and let them go off. It was cool. You know how I want to go? I want to go in like, what do they call it, the Viking funeral, where I get in a rowboat and they take me out in a freshwater lake and then they shoot arrows into it. Why not? Yeah. I'm a pyromaniac. Yeah, that's I love. We had that little fireworks company down island, and it was a lot of fun.
Jimmy Buffett's a pyromaniac. Hey, wait a minute. Weren't you supposed to be
pyromaniac?
Pyromaniac looks at 40, 50, 60, whatever we're talking about. But here's the thing. Weren't you supposed to be at the Grand Ole Opry? Did you do that? You're in the Grand Ole Opry, right?
No, we were. I mean, I was so honored by that, because once upon a time, before all this was happening, I was as many other people were, I was a struggling artist or songwriter in Nashville with nothing happening. And I happened to have a journalism degree that I accidentally earned. And I answered an ad in the newspaper for a job. I had to get a real job, and it wound up being Billboard magazine. So I worked for Billboard as a reporter for 2 years while I was still trying to get things going. So I knew Nashville so well, and I covered the Grand Ole Opry with my boss, Bill Williams. And this was old days, and when it was still in the Ryman before they built the new Opry. So I've had a real connection to that. And then my wife at the time, my first wife, worked on the Johnny Cash show back then. I don't know if you ever remember that, but they had
Sure.
Dylan was on it, Derek and the Dominoes. They had everybody, Joni Mitchell. They all came to Nashville to do that show. So I went to every one of those shows because she was working on it. So I've had a long kind of connection, and I've never played. I played it one night with Jenny Lewis as a guest on it, but I went in and watched Neil Young do his thing there. So I've always wanted to do it. So we're just going to do it when things get better. But I've never canceled any, I've always played them if I could. So we will do it.
Wow. That's really an honor. I really believe it. Go back to one thing. Let's see if you know your Grand Ole Opry trivia. Who is the only guy, or one, Jimmy, of the very few artists to get kicked out of the Grand Ole Opry?
Got kicked out of the Grand Ole Opry.
That's right.
George Jones.
Johnny Cash. You met Johnny Cash.
Did he get back? He got back in, though.
Oh, yeah. It says Johnny Cash was one of the very few artists to be banned from the Grand Ole Opry. His banishment after smashing the floor lights out with his microphone in 1965.
Well, I guess Kiss won't make it.
Johnny Cash, what the hell? Oh, go back to this. This is, so as you're working on this record, you are working on it, you're hanging out, you're in St. Bart's or whatever. This is what I read. Tell me what's right. And then you run into Paul McCartney. And Paul McCartney and you talk about your record. What's happened here with you and McCartney?
Well, we've been friends for quite a few years. I met him first up here in the summer because he had a house out here, and we became friends. And he started coming to St. Bart's, and we were just talking one day about it. And I had just gotten a copy of his new album, Egypt Station. I'd been listening to it on my paddleboard, and there was a song on there that really kind of called My Confidant that I remember. And it just had that great Beatles kind of thing, and and I was just paddling along to it, and there was a line, something about the slack tide, and I went, man, I like that line too. And so it kind of inspired me, and I told him about it when I saw him, and then he just gave me, he said, it's time, if you're going to make an album, just make it light and make it kind of breezy, and just do what you do the best. And when Paul McCartney tells you that, you listen.
That's
and then so
weird.
About halfway into it, it was at Christmas time. I played him some stuff. And he said he really liked it. And he said, when I played him Cussin Island, he said, only you could write that song.
Well, yeah.
I thought that was a compliment at the time.
Yeah. At Cussin Island, about the kids on the island that start swearing.
Yeah.
And
that's true. That's all true.
Yeah. You're on a boat, though, with your kids, and then you take them, you hear them swearing. What? You never heard them swearing before? And then you said, we got to go to this
I heard
island?
them swear, but not like that. And then, there was let's just say there was a little issue with the fact that, as being descended from sailors, I think I certainly have the cussing gene. So I was being a little hypocritical about that. And then they kind of were going at each other. And that's when it was also a lot of yelling and screaming. I just went, stop this and go over there and get on that little island. And we're going to get off of here and just go ahead. You've got 10 minutes to say anything, but only on that island. And we went out and I had a Manny, a guy that kind of watched after the kids on the boat. He and I sat there and listened, and we went, holy shit, listen to those kids over there. And then they actually laughed themselves into a frenzy. And that's where I got the idea to write the song. Because I'm sure, I've gotten letters from people who forgot and sent, an album to a school for, play day, and Get Drunk and Screw was on the album, and I got teacher letters from that. But the mother said, no, I thought he was saying, why don't we get milk in school?
That's why don't we get milk in school? Why don't we get milk? Yeah, I don't think there's going to be
lunch. No, it's why don't we get lunch in school?
Why don't we get lunch in school? Well, you know what? There's going to be no mistaking if some kid takes Cussin Island into a class. Just listen to this one part.
We did do a G-rated version. You can download it.
Okay, hold on one second.
It may show up, so...
I want Buzz to hear this, just a little bit of the ending here.
Do I think they learned a lesson?
Did they learn a lesson on the island?
Or was it just a silly-ass show? Well, the answer is part of the problem. The simple truth, fuck no.
Fuck no. They didn't learn anything. They didn't learn a goddamn thing. From Jimmy Buffett to Dad. Here's Jimmy Buffett, takes his boat, drops the kids off an island. Tell you what, I'll be right back. Go swear. That's the greatest thing I ever heard in my life. And he starts it out as I'm Mr. Rogers. This isn't Mr. Rogers. Oh, man, that's a good one.
Well, that's what I said. At this point in what's been a long and wonderful career, based on the fact that people like what we did, I'm past the point of anybody banning me, I think. So why not just say that's what happened. That's kind of the story.
I tell you, man, I think about you talking to Paul McCartney about the record. And, you guys, as you say, you're friends, but could you be like, he would be honest with you, but I would be like Chris Farley on the Saturday Night Live. Hey, remember that time, Paul, when you were you dead? Were you? That was a rumor. Oh, stupid question. That
would be like
that would make
Chris Farley and Tommy Boy.
That's easy. But you have to
One
admit,
of my favorite movies.
It's great. It's great. And at one of those points where you're looking and you're talking to Paul McCartney, and Paul saying, "No, you should do this. You should." Then you're going, "Oh wow, that's Paul McCartney." That's
Yeah, well, that was later because it's like okay, and then you go outside and you go, "That's Paul McCartney."
Yeah, right.
That happened.
Yeah, why wouldn't it, right? I have to tell you, man, I have added this the book on the shelf. It ends the album. Mm-hmm. And I have added this. I don't know if you have it. I have it. Like I said, I'm floating in the freshwater sunsets. You're floating in the saltwater sunsets. Mm-hmm. But I have like a sunset. I see it touching the treetops. And then I put this sunset down. One of my songs is Breathe In, Breathe Out. Your song. I love that song. I love it. I don't know if people request it. It's just so.
They do.
It's just calm.
I've been singing it a lot during this. Yeah. Too.
Right? By the way, that's what I was going to say, Jimmy. It's the perfect for us in survival mode. This is the song, Breathe In, Breathe Out. But on you and Book on the Shelf, man, that's a beautiful tune. So I put that one the minute I heard it, I related right to it. Hey, listen, we'll tell you when it's time to go.
Yeah.
We're not going.
And that's what it was in the album. And the great thing about it, Jonathan, is that the original track that I got, Mac McAnally's son and Mac McAnally's daughter, Mike Utley's son, are, my longtime wingman and Coral Reefer who produced the album, been in the band, and my creative team. Their kids wrote the original track and the chorus and Max said, there's something here that, I know it's family, but you might want to listen to it. And I took it and I loved the chorus. And then I kind of Buffettized the rest of it. And I took it and put my stuff into it. And then it kind of just fit in, if you go back to like, and on the White Album of the Beatles, and in the end, the love, the coda, I always wanted to do one of those. And Book of the Shelf hadn't even been written when we'd finished the other 15 songs, and I got it, and it just, it's one of those magic things that happens, and it fit, and then we rewrote it, and then Mac and I just decided it's an acoustic way out, and he played the mandolin, and
beautiful.
We did it in about 5 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, and you just said it was a quota. Keep scribbling on pages, not jumping off stages. I love this. You're not ready to put the book on the shelf. I just
I'll
love
keep
it.
scribbling on pages, not jumping off stages, not ready to put the book on the shelf.
Hey, Jimmy, I'm not kidding you. I'm not even kidding you. I got a little emotional.
Yeah.
It's just that last line. It just kind of.
I welled up.
No,
I welled up.
But you see what I mean?
Thanks.
It's just. It's. I don't know. You have got yourself a record here. Life on the flip side.
I don't usually well up.
No.
Gotta tell you, it happened really quick.
You were welling? Johnny, you were welling?
I was welling.
Buzz was welling up. No, I swear to God, and that was only what, as you said, quote. I thought, yeah, that's the tag. That's it right there. And as soon as I played it, watch.
I'll keep scribbling on pages, not jumping off stages, not ready to put the book on the shelf.
Jumping off stages is where I started welling.
Yeah.
Well, I had to rhyme that because I actually fell off, but jumping worked better. So
yeah, I do remember that story. You did fall off somewhere. It was in the New
Australia. Yeah. It hurt.
Can I ask you one other a question about surfing for 1 second, which I'd never asked you about surfing? I know because you're saying you're paddling around, listening to your record, surfing. In the album Life on the Flip Side, you have that song, Hey, That's My Wave, right? So, it's about used to be surfing and now, hey, that's my wave. Now, could you do me a favor and explain to me, what's the protocol here? Because the only protocol I get for surfing is from watching Animal Kingdom. Okay, have you ever seen Animal Kingdom?
Yeah.
Yeah, the surf show, right? And so, like, hey, man, is it like that? Hey, you're on my wave, man. What are you doing on my freaking wave, man?
Yeah, there is protocol, but as years have come by, it's, there's a lineup, and so you get in the lineup. It would be okay. Let's connect it to what's happening now. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to your takeout window from your favorite restaurant that isn't open. You just don't go up in the front of the line and go, I want a cheesesteak. You got to do your social distancing and go to the back of the line and just move up patiently.
Yeah.
That's the protocol of the lineup in surfing. But there are people out there, like in anything, that don't think that those rules apply to them. So that's what that. And actually, it's a friend of mine here in Sag Harbor. He's my he runs a wellness clinic. He's a great surf buddy of mine, and they have a little surf band. So I'd heard the song that they were playing in the surf band, and I love the chorus. Hey, that's my wave. And so I said, can I take that and play with it? And of course, he said yes.
Hell
and then we did. And so I kind of, again, Buffettized that one. And, it's like, laying sideways on the board. You get that in the summertime out here,
Yeah.
But I have surfed that little beach in Chicago, too, that's out up towards the state line. I got some surf buddies in Chicago that there's every now and then when you get a big blow off the lake, there's waves around there.
That's the weirdest thing.
There's a priority kind of thing, but when it's not, and there's always somebody when you're on a break where there's a lot of people that don't know, they'll come do it. So, you got to be polite. But my friend that did it, he kind of was a little more, that was like, hey, that's my way.
All right,
and every surfer has said it or done it or somebody has said it to them, because you get sometimes, but there are people that are thinking about it and do it accidentally, but other people that just don't give a shit and they'll just go.
Yeah.
So those are the
my
things.
wave. Yeah, I love that. Hey. That's my way. Yeah, man.
We'll talk about it.
Hey,
dude.
Hey.
That's my way.
it's my way, man.
And
Yeah.
there's a cool thing in it. You know, we're scheming. Hey, that's my way. One of the people that I got to do it was Stephanie Gilmore, the women's champion in Australia. She's such a cool lady that, and she was a fan, and we'd played together on some stuff that we'd done in Australia. So I just sent her the track, and my other surf buddies who were out there, I sent it to. You know, the dudes didn't quite answer the bell.
Yeah. I know surf talk. All I know is surf talk. You know, you're not a Quimby, a double-barreled bottom board with boxy ass rails.
Well, wait a minute.
I lived in Malibu
a good
for a
surf
while.
spot up on Lake Michigan in Wisconsin. What's that? Where is that? It's up
Sheboygan.
there. Right on, yeah,
Sheboygan. Yeah, Sheboygan. That's for sure. No question about it. No,
I've always wanted to go up there and surf up there. People have asked me to do it. I want to surf Lake Michigan one day.
I gotta. Yeah.
But not in February.
No. But you know what? The guys, I lived in Malibu for a while, and the guys would go, "Hey man, pull some fat airs, make the walled out section, man. Do a couple of the lips, fold off into the tube, busted a floater over the fucking whitewater. Kelly Slater's a punk. What? Don't know what you're talking about.
Where did you live? That's where I spent most of the pandemic. I spent it
right on Zuma.
Well, I had at Paradise Cove.
Yeah. I love that restaurant, man. I love going to Coogie's and having breakfast and Granita when Wolfgang had a place there. I loved it there, man.
Yeah.
I think it's crazier now, though. I think it's more crowded there now.
It was, you know, I got 2 kids out there, and I got stuck out there when it started, and I just stayed because I wanted to be with them. Again, that was one of the silver linings. I got to spend time with my grown-up kids, probably more time than I will ever see again, which is great.
I think a lot of people are feeling that too, Jimmy. A lot of people are feeling a family time.
A lot of people I talk to, and you know, it's really kind of cool. And then you're back to washing dishes, cooking, taking the garbage out. Thanks, we all did that. You know,
yeah, that's right.
Did it, but you know, we went right back into it. So got dishpan hands. Yeah,
craziest times in the world. By the way, hold on, let me put my mask. I got my mask on now. Can you hear my mask? I got my mask on now. You know, just see if I got it on.
Mask. Yeah, we got to get mask voices, you know, and then we're looking at trying to get, you know, masks with, how do you drink with a mask? Well, we're trying to incorporate a straw into the mask.
You got to figure that out. This is thinking music. This is drinking music. This is Jimmy Buffett's. So you're at your house. Do you have a good, you want to play a song or no? You want to do one? Do you want to play a song? Yeah.
Yeah, let me get my guitar. What do you want to play? Hang on. Let me go into, I got to go to the studio. Give me a second.
Oh, no problem. Right. No, Jimmy, we're busy.
I'll be back.
We're not. I love when he walks into the banner. Jimmy Buffett, Life on the Flip Side, baby. You got to get this. People are loving it. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful record from a beautiful, beautiful man. Yeah.
And you can see him. You're in visual
contact. I'm looking right at him. Yeah. I'm looking right at him right now. Here he is. Here he is. He's got his guitar. He's come back to the.
Okay, let me get a pick here. I got one in my drawer somewhere.
Jimmy Buffett, yeah. Buzz, I'll hook you up on that next time.
Because I smashed a finger the other day. And
how'd you do that?
Well, I was digging up crabs for my dogs to play with. And
digging up, some of that sentence I will never utter.
It's hell being a dog walker, you know.
Yeah, sentence once again I will never utter. I'm digging up crabs for my dog to play with. Never. I'll never say it.
Look at it. Well, I got a blood blister that was awful. So
let's see.
I can't find a pick, but you know what? I've got a SIM card holder. We'll do that.
That's right. When you're out in a bar or hanging around a fire somewhere after a couple of cocktails, you just grab anything you can get.
All right, what do you want?
Whatever you want to do, man. You're Jimmy Buffett.
Okay, let's see.
Whatever you want.
This is a good pick. This is an old Fred Neil song that kind of fits the mode. Oh. Everybody's talking at me. Can't hear a word they're saying. Only the echoes of my mind. People stop and staring.
I can't see their faces, only the shadows of their eyes. One of my favorite lines in a song, this one. Going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain. This one. Going where the weather suits my clothes. Banking off of a northeast wind and sailing on a summer breeze. Zipping over the ocean like a stone. Just going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain. Going where the weather suits my clothes. Banking off of a northeast wind, sailing on a summer breeze. Skipping over the ocean like a stone. Everybody's talking at me, can't hear a word they're saying, only the echoes of my mind. I don't want to leave my love behind. I don't want to leave your love behind. No, I don't want to leave your love behind.
I have to tell you,
Wow.
Fred Neil was my first musical idol. And
Wow, you get that, mine too. I mean, that's right there, you know.
And during that song, there's a couple of places where he drops his voice about an octave, exactly an octave.
Yeah.
And if you've got it too loud, it literally makes you shake. It vibrates your entire body.
Well, he does it on that line, going where the weather suits my clothes. Oh, he can go down there.
And he just goes way down.
And the other place he goes on that is on a little bit of rain. He goes to that low octave note there too. It's just nobody could do that. But
And he was
I was
such
a lucky kid at the time that he kind of, I was the opening act when he and Vince Martin and those guys were playing down in Miami in the Flick, and I got to know him very well through Jerry Jeff too.
Wow.
And always one of my big heroes. And that's one of the best songs ever written, I think.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
He was such a tiny little guy too, and such a huge voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
I like Jerry Jeff too.
I'd be going down to the Keys and like leaving Miami, and that's the first. There were bar stops in those days. It was a long ride. And Alabama Jacks was the first one, and Freddie Neal would be in there just like fishing barefooted out there, and he sang about who he really was, and he spent a lot of time in New York, but he was a Florida boy.
Man, oh man, you mentioned Jerry Jeff Walker too. Every time I hear that, I think up against the wall, redneck mother. Yeah, that's the one I like.
Jerry Jeff was the guy that took me to Key West.
Is that right? I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I've got to go dig up some crabs for my dog. So is there any way you could teach me the chant? Yeah, we spend more than a Cuban 15 minutes.
You know who that is?
No.
You know who that is?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a contest here. So
go ahead.
He's an actor. And he was on a very popular, one of the first Netflix shows that was shot in Florida. And it was called Bloodlines. So who was on Bloodlines, who was an actor that has Cuban roots? Did you ever watch Bloodlines?
No, do not know it.
Enrico Murciano. He played the sheriff's deputy in that. He had a big part in that, but he's an old friend of mine, and
his family came from Cuba through Nicaragua, and so he's back. But yeah, he went to Tulane, and he's a fun guy. So he was my Spanish consultant.
What is he saying? What are you saying there in this chant? This Cuban
Enrico
15.
Murciano. Oh, Sana Sana Colita de Rana. That's like an old Cuban thing. Like it'll happen tomorrow. Forget about it. It's going to happen. Everything just happens. If it ain't going to happen today, it'll happen tomorrow.
Love that.
Sana Sana Colita de Rana. Say no sana de, say sana mañana.
Wait a minute.
Un poquito español. Si es para bien.
What the hell?
Sana, sana, culito de rana. Si no sana hoy, bueno, sana mañana. Mañana, mañana, que dice La Habana. Si no pasa hoy, no pasa mañana.
Yeah.
15 Cuban minutes was that Enrique would use that phrase to describe his lateness. I'd be waiting for him to do something, and he'd go, it's 15 Cuban minutes. It could be an hour, it could be a day, I'll be there. And I went,
yeah.
Be careful what you say, because you're going to hear it again.
Yeah. That's fine. He's got to love this. But you know what? You're right about that.
I wanted him to be on it, so we did that. He checked my Cuban street Spanish, because but always when I go to Havana, there's not a lot going on there, but the Malecon, where the neighborhoods come out, they just dance in the street there, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Street music.
I got to tell you, man, it's just the whole vibe of this record is fantastic. Jimmy Buffett's new album, Life on the Flip Side. There's no doubt about it. You're going to love that, ladies and gentlemen. He was right there, by the way, live in the Zoom room. We finally hooked him up. How about that? How about that? All right, Jimmy, so when will you be going to the Grand Ole Opry to perform? Whenever you can. I guess that's what you said, right?
I'm waiting. I'm hoping to get there by the end of the summer to do it. So we're just waiting for, it's still spiking up there, and I'm waiting for them to tell me, and then, I'm ready. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. I always say when we're doing the show or whatever we do, we record a live podcast and we put it out. I go like this, well, Buzz, we got to go. Buzz goes, where are we going?
Yeah, well, it's great to see you again and do the show, and then and thanks for reminding me about Buck.
Yes.
You'll see it again, or you'll hear it again.
There's one other way your name came up in one of the very first shows, because at the time we started our show here, The Last Dance was running on ESPN, and they showed that dude in the yellow suit. And I bought a guy's suit from the Orlando Magic, and I gave it to you, and you wore it on stage at Poplar Creek.
I did,
Yes. It's the weirdest thing. We wore that suit, and people go, don't you? I said, whatever happened to that yellow suit? And everybody called up and go, Jimmy Buffett had the suit. So you still have it somewhere. I don't know, unless you tossed it in the garbage.
No, it's probably in the garbage. Mike Ramos has it in the in the basement that's going in the museum that I'll never know about.
Yeah, that is funny, man. This is a great album, Jimmy. Congratulations to you. Like I said, happens to nice things happen to nice people. I couldn't be happier for you, brother. You keep up the great work.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, everybody. It's great to catch up with you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you somewhere out there, huh?
No question about it, man. Your run ain't done, baby.
How did I get this lucky?
Love it.
Tell me who.
All right.
Jimmy Buffett, thank you, brother.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Like this. That's why we have to have Cussin Island, a rally point and rendezvous. Ride shotgun with the devil I know, devil I know, devil I know. Riding in the slow lane, taking time to look around.
Jimmy Buffett, Life on the Flip Side. Could he have been nicer? He can't be. He's one of the greatest in the business, one of our great true friends of the show. There's no doubt about that. And it's a great album. Great album. There he was. We took 30 minutes to get him on from the phone. He didn't even break a sweat, unlike me, as I was chasing frogs and looking for how to hook him up to a Zoom. Jimmy Buffett. Truly great. This is Jonathan Brandmeier. Thank you for joining us.
I'll keep scribbling on pages, not jumping off stages, not ready to put the book on the